I'm Plami, and in this episode of Plami's Thoughts Zone, I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of the 4th seasons of one pretty good cartoon, although not as much nowadays, called Young Justice. So before we get into my review, I'm just gonna kinda explain to you a little bit how I feel about Young Justice overall and how I feel about season 3 especially, because that's the most recent one before this one. So I used to love Young Justice when it first aired on Cartoon Network. When it originally aired back in the early 2010s, I loved it. It was a really cool cartoon, and I watched it from the beginning till the end of season 2. And it was a great cartoon. It was an amazing action cartoon. Like, at the time, there was so many really good action cartoons on Cartoon Network, like Symbiotic Titan, the Thundercats, 2011 reboot. I really liked that one as well. So it's not like it was mind-blowingly good in that regard, but it was a really good cartoon, and I really loved it. So I was sad when I learned that there was not gonna be anything else after season 2, but luckily we finally got a season 3 quite a few years later. And I'm not a big fan of season 3. I'm sorry. It was like season 2, but all the worst aspects of it, because I personally feel like out of all the seasons of this show so far, including the first 4 episodes of season 4 that I've seen, season 1 is the only legitimately good one. Because season 2 focused on other characters that I ended up liking, like Impulse. His name is Impulse, like the future Flash character. I love Blue Beetle. I remember liking that character from Batman Brave and Bold, which is a cartoon that I'm gonna react to at some point in the future, so make sure to stick around, I guess. So I liked those characters in season 2, but I didn't like the lack of focus on the OG characters, which is who I love, and I really didn't like the 5-year time jump. Even though it's not necessarily a bad idea, it just skipped over such a long time of development that I feel like we should have seen. Like, I don't mind how season 2 is, but I feel like there's like 4 or 5 seasons between season 1 and 2 that we should have seen before we got to that point. That's kind of how I feel about it. And in season 3, it's like everything about season 2 that I hate, but on steroids. Character that I do not give a shit about, and I never ended up giving a shit about. Overdrawn storylines, focusing on characters that are not even like the main cast, like just random characters that probably should get their own show. It's like, for some reason, the creators of this show decided to, instead of make the show be about Young Justice and the young proteges of the big famous superheroes, they decided to make Young Justice the ultimate DC animated adaptation, which I think is fucking dumb. Like, I appreciate the ambitiousness by the creators, but that's not why I liked season 1. I liked it because it focused on the characters that ended up being enjoyable, and it developed them. It made me love them. And that's something that season 2 and season 3 didn't really do that much. So I do really appreciate the return to focus on the OG characters in season 4. Although that is kind of its own can of worms, but I can't really judge it too much because I've only seen the first 4 episodes, and I'm actually not sure how many episodes of the show have been released at this point, so give me a second to check. Okay, apparently the next 4 episodes have been also released, so that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be doing. If not today, in the next few days, I'm going to be doing a review of the next 4 episodes. And the reason why I'm doing these reviews like this on like a bunch of 4 episodes is because, as far as I understand, this season is essentially going to be split between the OG 6 characters or so that we see in the intro sequence, which I know I'm getting sidetracked quite a lot, but I just want to say quickly, I love the fucking intro for season 4. That is one of the things that I unironically love about this season. It's like the first season intro, but even fucking better. I love it. It's so good. This is what season 2 should have been like, man. But yeah, I love it, and I love everything about the intro. But it seems like this season is essentially going to be split into episode arcs that are about like 4 episodes long. Like each of the OG characters is gonna get 4 episodes of focus. Like in these first 4 episodes, it's Miss Martian and Superboy as well as Garth that get focus. And in the next 4 episodes, it seems like it's gonna be Tigress, aka Artemis, and maybe some other characters in relation to her that are all gonna get screen time. So yeah, I don't know exactly which characters, but are gonna get screen time, because it seems like from the trailers we're gonna get some Red Arrow stuff as well. So we'll see about that. Maybe it's gonna be in these 4 episodes, in the next 4 episodes with Tigress. Maybe not. But yeah, because these storylines are kind of split up in these 4 episodes mini movies, so to speak, I'm gonna be waiting until all episodes of the arc are gonna be released, because otherwise watching through these episodes as they release, the week they release, is just a fucking slog, man. And that is one of the faults that I have for this season. It's so slow, god damn it. Like, these first 4 episodes were so slow. Why? Why were they so slow? Like, imagine if this show was airing on TV as a cartoon. Kids would be fucking bored to death. And I know that this is now aimed for more like adults, but that doesn't change the fact that if you can't fucking entertain kids and you bore kids to death, why do you think there's hope for engaging adults? And again, it's not like what the story in these 4 episodes was about was bad or boring. I actually ended up enjoying it, and I kinda already feel nostalgic about it, and I'm interested in rewatching these 4 episodes. But that doesn't change the fact that it's slow as fuck, and there's no reason why this story should have been 4 episodes. Which brings me to something that I feel like the showrunners for this show need to do at this point, because there is no really any argument about why they don't do that. With shows like Invincible, which is an animated superhero show, being 40 minutes long and managing to have more story in 8 episodes than the entirety of season 3 did, or about as much, let's say, in 8 episodes, there's no reason why Young Justice cannot do the same. There's no reason why the episodes of this show need to be 20 minutes long. It's not a cartoon anymore. It's not aiming at kids anymore. So why not make it longer episodes? Because I feel like I can understand if this story was like a 2-parter. That's fine. A 2-parter with this plotline, that's fine. 4 episodes though? Go fuck yourself, honestly. And again, it wasn't bad, it was engaging. And I would even enjoy this as like a mini movie. That's why I said it's like these mini movies earlier. Because when you put them together, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, essentially. So it's like the length of a movie, which is an aspect that I like. But they either have to make it fewer episodes that are longer, or just release it as a one super long episode, man. Because 4 20-minute long episodes of fucking nothing, I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with that. Because even if there's like a cool fight or a cool scene, like for example the ending of the 4th episode was cool, for most of the episodes there's nothing to satisfy me. And I feel like there's quite a few moments where you could split these 4 episodes into 2 40-minute long ones, and there's no reason why you shouldn't do that. It's not like there's like certain stories that are more self-contained to each episode. No, it's pretty much one overarching story in these 4 episodes. Like I said, it's like a mini movie. So why couldn't you just make it like a mini movie? And again, that's why I'm gonna be waiting for the whole arcs to be released, instead of watching one episode this week, then watching another episode next week, and then watching a 3rd episode a week after that. Because that also works better for me to review these episodes. Because if I had to review episode 1 and then wait a week until episode 2 and then wait a week episode 3, by the time we're at episode 4, I will forget what happened in episode 1. So yeah, I don't know. I was really pissed off about that. But yeah, other than that, the story of this episode was actually pretty fine. I enjoyed it, and I don't know, it really made for a memorable and immersive experience. It really genuinely felt like I was watching a movie because I watched all the 4 episodes in succession. I binged it essentially. And it was really fun to see this like animated DC movie on Mars. It was really cool. I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the characters and their development and everything. Um, they even made Garth, who I hated last season, a very entertaining character, and I liked the development that he got as well. Although probably my favorite scene in this storyline has actually almost nothing to do with any of the plot or anything. It's just something that is personally relatable to me. That being the scene in which Magan and her sister or cousin or whatever her relationship with her is, I think she's her sister, talk about how I mean, I don't exactly remember I can't really explain. I'm sure you've watched it, so you know what I'm talking about. Like when they are making the crescent or whatever it was for Magan's wedding, and Magan and her sister have a little bit of a fight where Magan ends up turning herself into her old white Martian form, and then turns back, and then her mom talks to her about how her white Martian form feels fake to her, thus saying that the true form for Magan is her humanoid white Martian with orange hair. And the reason why this scene is so relatable to me is because it feels like it's very much like an allegory for transness, which, if you're wondering why that is relatable to me, well, maybe you haven't been subscribed to my channel for a while, which means you should definitely subscribe. But I'm actually trans. I might not look it for reasons that are outside of my control, because it's not really possible for me to transition where I live. But I am trans. More specifically, I would say I'm non-binary. At a certain point in time, I thought that I was male to female full on, but I turned out that it was not really the case. Nowadays, I consider myself either non-binary or gender fluid, more specifically because even though there are times where I do really want to look feminine and present female and everything, there's also plenty of times where I feel perfectly fine looking and being a guy. But I am trans, that is the point. So Magan's mom telling her that she feels like she's herself when she looks this way, that is not how she was born, it's just very relatable to me. That scene as a whole is just very touching, and I love it. That is pretty much my favorite scene. And yeah, I don't want to recap the whole story because that's gonna take way too long, so I'm just gonna go over other things that I liked about this episode. I liked the story was about racism, so to speak. Like, I feel like this season is handling more of the political stuff better than last season, which again is like and one of the things that pissed me off about last season, especially in the second half. It really fucking delved into the political and woke stuff too much. And before you mischaracterize what I'm saying and confuse me for one of those grifter assholes who cry about PC bullshit all the time, that's not what I'm talking about. I just don't like personally when TV shows and movies, or whatever you want to call it, really beat you over the head with some of the politics. Like, I don't mind politics in my shows. I even like when they include it. I just think it should be used mostly as an allegory in some way, for you to, so it lets you personally get to the conclusion that they're trying to get you to get to, but instead of just telling you the conclusion and beating you over the head. Because like in this scene, it's not really necessarily a trans allegory, but I relate to it because it feels to me like a trans allegory. I interpret it as a trans allegory, and I prefer this kind of political messaging where it lets you interpret it yourself instead of beating you over the head with it. And last season there was a lot of just generic and very lazy political stuff. So the fact that we're starting off with this allegory with these kind of allegories in this season, and with the racism stuff on Mars, talking about essentially racism in real life. It was really really satisfying, and the mystery as well was a really fun mystery to follow, and I was curious to see who is gonna turn out to be. I definitely did not expect it to turn out to be the person that it was, but it was still like a cool mystery overall. And man, I guess I gotta talk about the ending of the episode. I was kind of spoiled about it. I am pretty sure I even talked about it in my reaction to the trailer, but I was a little bit spoiled about something happening to Superboy. I wasn't necessarily sure whether it was gonna be a death or whatever. I think I even saw like a video on YouTube that he was gonna die or something, but I wasn't sure exactly what was gonna happen. I wasn't trusting it necessarily. But yeah, it seems like he dies. Although, it's really fucking suspicious in some of the ways that he died and how we didn't get to see a body, that I really don't think he's gonna die. That he's truly dead, at least. I feel like he's gonna come back in some way, shape, or form. And again, this might be just wishful thinking, because it's been 2 seasons since Wally's death, and we still don't have him back as much as the fandom wants him back. But yeah, I don't know. It would be kind of ballsy for them to actually kill him here, but I don't really think that's gonna be the case. I just don't think, especially because if he's truly dead, then what was the point of those future characters with powers very similar to those of Magan, who, from what I understand, are supposed to be like from the superheroes from the future or whatever. And I've even been told or read about what the possible storyline of how Superboy is gonna come back is going to be like, but yeah, I don't know. Although I gotta say, the ending credits afterwards, after that episode where you have Magan crying, fucking destroyed me. Like, not only I was really pissed that he died, and I was sad that he died, but then you also have Magan crying her eyes out in agony afterwards. That was just like cruel, man. That was just so cruel. And in these episodes, we also lost the ship, which, I mean, it's a nice moment because it's treated like a fact of life, where the ship is just retiring, and there's the kid, her kid, who is going to take care of the team going forward. But it was just still sad to lose the ship, and it's just part of growth, I guess. Like, overall, the story and the writing is really fucking good. It's just the fact that it's split into 4 episodes that bothers me. That's kind of the thing that bothers me the most. But now that I know that the next 4 episodes have also been released, I'm really excited to get into those, so you should expect a review of those 4 episodes very, very soon. And yeah, I'm actually gonna, in terms of a rating for this story, I'm not gonna give ratings to the separate episodes, because God forbid I don't even know what happened in which episode. They're just like one complete story in my head, so I'm just gonna give rating for the story overall. And for this 4 episode arc, I'm going to give it a 8.9 out of 10. Which is a pretty fucking high score, although with this show we don't really have a point of comparison, because this is the first time I'm reviewing it. Although it's not gonna be the last time. It's not gonna be the last time. But yeah, it was a very enjoyable, albeit somewhat slow story, but when you put it together as like a 1 hour and 20 minute long movie, it was fine, it was enjoyable. It's just that it doesn't really work for me as 4 separate episodes. But yeah, I liked it, and I can't wait to see all the episodes arcs this season with all the OG characters. But yeah, what did you guys think about these episodes? Comment down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, as usual, I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to my currently 3 patrons on Patreon: Omari Bridgman, Deadpool, and Lemonade. Thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot that you've decided to support me through my Patreon. I can't ever really repay you for that. It really means a lot to me that anybody has managed to enjoy my videos so much to decide to support me through Patreon. It just really truly means a lot. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me, that being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that, because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way, and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories, or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon where you can pledge support and help with the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. And additionally, you can also support me through my Ko-fi account, though keep in mind that for if you support me through my Ko-fi account, it's more for like one-time donation kind of thing compared to Patreon's long-term support and benefits. So you can go either way, it's really up to you. But if you don't want to support me monetarily, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!